Are you suffering from knee arthritis and you're wondering if there's any supplements you can take to help you feel better? If you are, then today's video is going to show you the 3 best from the research that I've been reading. My name is Harlow and I'm the Over-Fifties specialist physio here at HT Physio in Farnham. And today I'm going to be talking you through the 3 best knee health supplements that I often recommend to people in my practice. Now, before we dive in, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please make sure to do so using the links below this video. It really helps me to reach more people just like you. But before we start talking about these supplements, let's talk about knee arthritis. So knee arthritis is a really common problem which is characterized by loss of cartilage in the knee joint. It's a normal process of aging and basically involves the loss of the layer of cartilage that sits either between the thigh bone and the shin bone or between the kneecap and the thigh bone. And that cartilage helps to lubricate joint movement and help us move normally. So when we start to lose the cartilage, it can lead to pain, it can lead to inflammation, and it can lead to stiffness. And knee arthritis is super common. There's going to be at least 60 to 70% of people who have it. Not everyone has symptoms, only some people. We don't know why some people do and some people don't. But for those people who have it, it can be very painful, it can be disabling, it can affect mobility and it can affect independence. Now, it's easy to go to the doctor and get some painkillers for knee arthritis, but most people don't want to spend their life taking painkillers. So lots of people look for natural alternatives to painkillers that can help to reduce the pain of arthritis. Now, before we talk about the supplements, it's important to note that the supplement world is a little bit murky. It's not very well regulated, so there are a lot of products on the market that don't do what they report to do. You probably quite easily find a supplement online that says it's the magic cure for knee arthritis, but the reality is that just doesn't exist. However, if you choose the right supplements at the right dosage and at the right quality, there is potential for some people to get relief. Now, before you run out and buy the supplements in this video, a quick word of warning. Everyone responds to supplements slightly differently, so ones that work for some people might not work for other people. The other thing you need to make sure you do is you check with your doctor before you start any new supplement. This is for a number of reasons. One reason is that you could be allergic and it's in your medical record and you're not quite sure that the thing you're taking has the allergen in it that you're allergic to. The second reason is if you're already taking medication, a supplement can interfere with the medication you're on. The third reason is that every supplement has risks and possible side effects. And if you don't know what they are, or those side effects are more likely for you as an individual, you're going to need to know about this before you dive straight in. So make sure you have a check with your doctor before starting any new supplement. Now that's been said, let's talk about the supplements that can potentially help with knee arthritis. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you about a very common supplement that a lot of people take for knee arthritis that we can't actually recommend. And that is a supplement called glucosamine. And that sometimes comes along with something called chondroitin. Now, glucosamine gained a lot of popularity about 10 years ago. It was thought of as the magic supplement for arthritic problems. And the reason people thought that is because we have glucosamine inside our joints already. And researchers thought, if we add glucosamine via pill form, that will add into the joints within the body and it will help to cushion the cartilage. So if we have more glucosamine in the joint, in the cartilage, we tend to have less arthritis. Now that sounds great in theory, but in practice, it's never been shown to be effective. In fact, all of the double-blind, placebo-controlled systematic reviews that I've read all show that there's not that much difference between a placebo and glucosamine. Why we think it doesn't work is because it's likely that the gut stops the glucosamine from breaking through and coming into the joints. It might break it down before it reaches it. So by the time it reaches your joints via the bloodstream, it's so broken down that it's useless. So that's why we think that even though in theory glucosamine looks good, in practice it's probably not that effective. Now, anecdotally, I know some people have had results with glucosamine, which is great, but we can't recommend that because there's just not enough evidence behind it. Now, the first supplement that we possibly can recommend, and this is just a possible one, it's not one that's in the guidelines, but it's one that has some promise in the research, is turmeric. Now, turmeric has a natural anti-inflammatory property within it. It is a herb or a spice that's used quite commonly in Indian cooking, and it's been shown to have an interaction in the body that brings down inflammation in some circumstances. Now, you could add more turmeric to your cooking, but the amount that's needed to improve the inflammation within the body is a bit higher than we usually include in our food, so it might be best to get it through supplement form. Now, turmeric does come with its own host of health risks. I believe it can actually interfere with some of the blood pressure medication that people take, so be very careful when starting turmeric. The other thing about turmeric is it can play havoc with people's tummies. It can give people diarrhea, it can give them stomach cramps and just make them feel very uncomfortable. Some people just don't get on with it, so if that's you, don't force yourself to take it and always check with your doctor first. However, there have been some studies that can show turmeric reduces pain, particularly with arthritis. In one study with 107 people, half of the participants were given turmeric and the other half were given ibuprofen. The researchers in this study found that the people who were given turmeric had just as much pain relief as the people who were given ibuprofen, but the people who were given turmeric were actually better on stairs even than the people who were given the drug. So this shows some promise. It shows that it could be that turmeric helps with inflammation and decreases the pain associated with arthritis. If you are going to try turmeric, my tip for you would be to get a turmeric supplement that also has black pepper within it, or called piperine. Now, piperine is something that can help the curcumin inside the turmeric to be delivered to the target cells better. Supplements with black pepper in them, turmeric supplements with black pepper, have been shown to be more effective than supplements without black pepper. So if you're looking for a turmeric supplement, make sure you get a combined one with black pepper. Now, the second supplement that has been shown to potentially help people with knee arthritis is omega-3. Omega-3 is a fatty acid which is found within mostly fish oils. It can also be found in small amounts in nuts and other vegetables, but it's mostly found in oily fish. Omega-3 is a substance that has been shown to do all kinds of things in the body. It can help with heart health, it can help with the health of the blood vessels, it can help with your blood flow, it can also help with joint problems as well in some people. The reason it can do this is because it has an anti-inflammatory effect. It works on cells to reduce inflammation, and this can translate across as pain relief in things like arthritis. Omega-3 works through two types of substance that's found within it. One is called EPA and the other is called DHA, and these are types of acid that are found within the omega-3. Now, these two substances are what gives it its anti-inflammatory effect. So if you're looking for an omega-3 supplement, you should find one with high levels of EPA and DHA. It's actually beneficial to look for one with a higher DHA because DHA has been shown to be the one of the two that is more anti-inflammatory in nature, although EPA does help as well. Now, omega-3s are not quite as simple as just going out and buying one from off the shelf. There is a huge range in terms of quality, and you can find some very poor omega-3 supplements on the market. As a general rule, they shouldn't smell fishy. A fishy smell is a bad sign. It means that the oil within has probably become rancid, and it's actually going to be doing you more harm than good. We should also recommend looking for a sustainably sourced one because that's better for the oceans. And you don't want one that's been sitting around for a very long time, especially not one that's going to be out of a sell-by date. So we want one that's as fresh as possible. In terms of evidence for omega-3, there is one study that was run in America where they took a group of people who had just had spinal surgery, and they either gave them anti-inflammatories like an ibuprofen, or they gave them a high dose of omega-3 after the surgery to see how their pain levels were. The researchers found that the people who took the high dose of omega-3 experienced less pain than those who took the anti-inflammatory. In closer reading of this study, it becomes clear that the people who funded this study were actually a supplement brand. So we can't necessarily take these results as gospel. However, there have been other researchers out there who have found something similar when looking at pain relief and a moderate to high dose of omega-3. As with the other supplements here, before starting something, especially high dose, check with your doctor first, but omega-3 has a whole host of health benefits, so most doctors tend to be happy with people taking them. Now, the third supplement that shows a lot of promise for people with knee pain is something called boron. Now, boron is an elemental metal which is found both on the periodic table of elements and also in small amounts in our body. It's a trace metal. Now, we find boron in the soil, so we tend to get a little bit of boron from vegetables and from some fruits. However, in the Western world, we don't tend to get very much of it in our diets. It's not really recommended as a supplement by the government. It's not really known that much about in terms of most health circles. But if you look at the research around boron, it's incredibly interesting. Boron can improve the uptake of calcium and magnesium and other essential bone minerals that help to improve the strength of the bones and the joints. Research has found that it reduces the risk of osteoporosis in menopausal women who are very high risk for that problem. So boron can help the bones. It can also help the joints. And it does this both by strengthening the bones themselves, and it also reduces inflammation. It interacts with one of the enzymes that we find in the knee that is present with arthritis that causes inflammation and makes pain worse. It seems to block that enzyme from working. So people who supplement with boron in studies have been shown to have reduced pain in their knees, sometimes by as much as 60%. Boron can have other health benefits. Like I said, it helps with bone mineral density, so it can stave off osteoporosis. It can also help with other health problems as well, and it's certainly worth a look for many people, especially women who can experience a lot of bone mineral density loss. Another interesting thing about boron is the fact that researchers have found people who suffer with knee arthritis to be deficient in boron compared to people who don't suffer from knee arthritis. So there could be some kind of chicken and egg thing going on there with boron as well. So with boron, how much is recommended to take? There is no government recommendation, but the health authorities seem to think that somewhere between the range of 1 milligram to 13 milligrams per day seems to be pretty safe for most people. It's quite easy and cheap online to find a boron supplement that gives you 3 milligrams per day, which tends to be quite a safe dose for most people, so that could be a good place to start, and then to gauge the progress with your knee. Now, with all the other supplements as well and boron, it's worth getting checked out by your doctor, but these ones have been shown to be generally quite safe for most people. Anyway, I hope that makes sense and that was an informative video for you. If you liked it, please like the video and leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you want more from me, you can pick up a copy of my book. It's called Thriving Beyond 50, and you can find it on Amazon using the link below this video. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you on the next video.